The rattling sound under the hood had grown louder with each passing day. Emily Parker, a single mother of two, gripped the wheel of her aging sedan as it stuttered into a small garage on the edge of town. She couldn't afford a breakdown, not now. Between juggling her job as a waitress, late rent payments, and the pile of unpaid bills on her kitchen counter, her world already felt like it was teetering on the edge. Morning, a man called out, wiping his grease-stained hands on a rag. His name tag read Joe. He was a towering figure with a graying beard, but his kind eyes softened his rugged appearance. "Car's making a noise I can't ignore anymore," Emily said, forcing a smile. "But I need to know what it'll cost before you do anything. Money's tight." Joe nodded. "Fair enough. Let me take a look." Emily watched from the corner of the waiting area, her children, 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Ben, sitting quietly beside her. Lily colored in a crumpled coloring book, while Ben played with a worn-out toy truck. She bit her lip, praying the repair wouldn't cost more than she had in her checking account, $137 to be exact. After what felt like an eternity, Joe emerged from the garage. His face was unreadable. "Well?" she asked nervously. "It's the alternator," he said. "It's bad, and if we don't replace it, your car won't last another week." Emily's heart sank. "How much?" Joe hesitated, then said, "Normally, parts and labor would run about $450. Her face fell, and Joe saw the tears she was trying to blink away. She didn't say a word, just pulled her children closer. Joe cleared his throat. "I'll tell you what. Leave it here for the day. I'll figure something out." Emily stared at him. "But." "No buts," he said firmly, but kindly. "Go home. We'll talk when it's done." That evening, when Emily returned to pick up the car, she braced herself for a fight she couldn't win. Instead, Joe handed her the keys and said, "You're all set." Confused, she asked, "What do you mean? How much do I owe you?" "Nothing," Joe said simply. Emily was stunned. "Why would you do that?" "I can't." Joe looked down, fidgeting with the rag in his hands. "Let's just say I know what it's like to struggle." His voice cracked. "When I was a kid, my mom was in your shoes. My dad walked out, and she worked 3 jobs just to keep food on the table. One winter, our car broke down. No heat, no way for her to get to work. We thought we'd lose everything." Emily listened, her throat tight. "A mechanic named Frank fixed it for free," Joe continued, his eyes glistening. "He didn't ask for anything in return. He just said, when you're able, you pay it forward. I've been waiting for the right moment ever since." Tears streamed down Emily's face. "You didn't have to." "Yes, I did," Joe interrupted. "You deserve a break. Your kids deserve a break." Word spread quickly through the town. People were moved by Joe's story and his act of kindness. Soon, customers started showing up at his garage, not just for repairs but to support the man who reminded them of the power of compassion. Months later, on a bright spring morning, Emily walked into Joe's garage, holding an envelope. "What's this?" Joe asked. "It's not much," Emily said, her voice trembling. "But I've been saving. I want to pay it forward, just like you did for me." Joe opened the envelope to find a crisp $100 bill and a note, "For the next family who needs a little kindness." Joe smiled, his eyes misty. Frank would be proud. And in that moment, the small town remembered that even in the hardest of times, kindness has a way of coming full circle.